So they tell us that college is supposed to be the best time of our life. It's supposed to be where we make lifelong friends, make a lot of good memories, and it's kind of the last thing you get to do before becoming an adult. And for most people, I think that's true. Even for me, I'd say that was mostly true. I do have a lot of good lifelong friends that I made and a lot of really good memories, but I think that if you kind of make some mistakes during college or if you choose to do things a certain way, it can definitely bring down the experience. I know for me, I made a few mistakes along my way through college and it just kind of brought down the college experience. And I want to share it with you because I think it's not really something that you should have to go through to kind of diminish your own experience when you can just avoid it right off the start and have a way better time than I probably did. So starting off, it would definitely be kind of this like lack of effort. If you are going into a STEM major or some kind of actual like a technical field that requires a lot of work, right? If you are maybe looking to start college or you're finishing up high school, maybe you're just finishing your first semester of college and you looked up a degree and you're like, this one makes a lot of money. I'm gonna do this. And you're telling yourself, I'm gonna put in the bare minimum effort to succeed, get my degree, and get out. Honestly, I'd tell you it's probably not worth doing that degree, or it's at least not worth just giving the bare minimum, because I kind of told myself that too, right? I did computer science and I was like, hey, software engineers, 250 right out of school, 100K right out of school, that's awesome. And I was like, but I'm just gonna put in the bare minimum effort and get my degree and get my money. And it doesn't work that way. Coming from somebody who's gone through, done that, and I'm here now, it doesn't work that way. Now, this is definitely a computer science kind of example, but if you are in a program like CS, it takes so much more work and time and effort than just the bare minimum if you want to see those high salaries right out of school. I mean, it's so competitive nowadays, and if you're in engineering too, or if you're in like any STEM field, it's competitive and you're gonna have to put in a lot of extra work. But if you put in that extra work, you'll be way happier when you graduate with much better job offers or just much more job offers than somebody like me had, because I only had 1 or 2 job offers coming out of school, and you don't want to really be stuck to basically just choosing the only place that gives you a job offer. So definitely try to avoid that if you can. So the next kind of mistake I made, which you'd probably see on any video about college mistakes, but it's so true, is procrastination. One specific example is, I think around my sophomore year, I had a project that was due. I had so much time to do it, and I waited until the very last night to start actually working on it really hard. And it turns out that I had no clue what I was doing. And it was not good because I ended up definitely getting like a D or a C on the program. So it's not really a good idea to procrastinate. And it's kind of one of those things where if you know you have a lot of assignments with a lot of time, start working on them early, because 1, you can go to your professor for help. 2, your professor will really appreciate if they see you putting in the effort and coming and asking for help in like the first week of the project being assigned. If you have a multi-month long project and you're asking them questions right from the start, getting going, getting stuff done, they'll really appreciate it. I had a different professor who loved seeing people come in and ask for help, and it made him way happier. And honestly, he was probably a little bit more lenient on the grading because he could see all the effort I was putting in. So if you procrastinate, 1, you're gonna pile stuff up, and 2, you're kind of just gonna have it nagging in the back of your head like, oh, I gotta get this done, but I don't really want to do it. If you just get it out of the way, that gives you so much more time to go and do things that you actually want to be doing, and having fun, partying, enjoying spending time with your friends without worrying about, hey, I have to do this project and this assignment and this. Like, if you just start right away, get it done, or get however much you need to get done, it will make life so much better. I promise you, once I started doing stuff right when I got it, it made life way easier. Okay, so this is definitely one that I think is very like STEM, computer science, engineering focused, but it can really apply to everybody. But if you're going through a college program or you're planning on going through a program, try not to fly solo. because I was definitely the kind of person, freshman and somewhat of sophomore year, where I was like, I'm just gonna do all this by myself. Projects, do them by myself. Homework, do them by myself. Even when the option to have a partner or a group was available. This is one because you are gonna make friends by working with people, right? If you work with people constantly, you're gonna make somewhat of a friend in them. And then also, too, your knowledge isn't as good as everybody else's, right? So you might be really good at something, somebody else might be really good at something else. And if you're working on a project that requires both two areas, if you work together, you will get so much more done so much faster and have way more time to do things. Now, if you try to do everything by yourself, one, you're increasing the workload for yourself, which I don't know why you would choose to do that. But two, it's just not really good. You're not going to make many friends, you're not going to make a lot of connections, and you're just kind of going to hurt yourself in the long run. So if you can find like a partner, for me, I found a friend in summer class, and him and I were partners on everything since then. We sat next to each other in that class, and then all throughout the rest of my program, him and I would take classes together, we'd work on projects, homework, pretty much anything that we were allowed to work on together or even ask questions about, we would do, because again, he had some better knowledge in some areas, I had better knowledge in other areas, and we worked really well together. So if you can avoid flying solo in your first semester, second semester, try to find somebody that you click with, try to make a good connection there, and honestly, you'll find friends and other people, they'll find friends, and you guys can all kind of come together, have a big group, and it will work way better. Once I kind of found my little group of friends, we were all able to ask questions to each other, and we'd sit around a table basically, hang out between classes, work on projects, and sometimes somebody would know how to fix a problem in my code, or I'd know how to fix their problem, and it would honestly make everybody way happier, and life was so much easier by the time you get to that point. So if you start doing that early, life will get better faster. Okay, so this last one is a little bit weird, but it will make sense as I explain it. So I kind of like forced myself to have anxiety, if that makes sense. And if you could avoid it, I would. And you probably will kind of do that to yourself over time if you're not really thinking about it. But in my last year of school, I was working on my capstone, like most people have to do. And I was just always thinking to myself, like, hey, I really need to be working on my capstone. This is like a big project. I have to get this done. Like, this is what it's supposed to be about, right? Like, this is what all the schooling's for. So I would sit at home and I would just constantly be like, I need to be working on capstone, 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 capstone. I need to be doing some sort of homework, some project. There's something I need to be doing. Well, turns out if you just take all of the assignments you have to be doing, write it down, or if you're working through a sprint, right, write down all of your goals or what you need to be doing for your sprint and kind of make a checklist. If you like physically check stuff off, your brain will be so much happier and you'll actually realize like, hey, I'm making progress. So what I realized is if I kind of take a look at all of what I need to do, write it down, and then I cross it off my list, you kind of lose that anxiety. You're not constantly thinking about, hey, I really need to be doing homework right now, or I should really need like be doing school. Because I'd find myself just sitting around thinking about school all the time, like I need to be doing this. No, we really don't. Like you get your work done and you can go like do what you want to do. But if you don't really like make a checklist or you don't organize, you're kind of always going to be thinking like, oh, what do I have to do? What needs to get done? When should I have this done by? And then you might even find yourself like clicking through Canvas or Blackboard. I had Blackboard, like looking to see if you have any assignments due. And if you just write it all down when it gets assigned, and then you kind of have like a checklist, you have your due date, your checklist, what the item is. Okay, done, 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 done. Here's what I need to do for my sprint. Okay, all those are done. Cool. Well, now I don't have to worry about school. I can look at my checklist, be like, all right, we're good to go, and just go enjoy life. And honestly, if you avoid that, you're gonna, like, freshman year, sophomore year, you're gonna have way more fun. You'll probably be able to spend more time making friends, making good connections, and helping yourself in the long run. Most of these kind of mistakes I made are definitely things where if you catch them early or if you kind of avoid them, you'll help yourself in the long run way more than I was able to help myself, because it took me a little while to figure that out. But if you're going into a program, or maybe you're kind of just starting through a program and you're not wanting to make mistakes, and you're going to be bound to make mistakes eventually, Everybody does something, and it kind of have to crawl back from it. But if you can avoid it or just be on the lookout for it, you definitely should. Let me know if you have any questions down below about college or mistakes or what you're worried about, and I'll do my best to answer with my experiences. Please leave a like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.